and I need to learn a little bit about Kiribati, but I thought it was kind of a cool little thing. There's things we know about, and there's things we don't know about. Who am I? I'm going to click through this real quick for those that weren't here. I'm a husband, I'm a father, that's my wife Jill and my son Joshua, and I'm a teacher of international students at Aiken High School. I also roast coffee at La Terza. I'm a board member of Wordplay Cincy. I like to garden, and little late breaking news since last time we met, I'm officially the agricultural career tech pathway teacher at Aiken High School for the coming year. I did that 2 years ago. I took a year off, and now I'm back. And I'm a cross country coach, and that's one of our cross country teams. I see a few people there, and I know Mr. Schneer, and I just want to thank Mr. Schneer again for being the catalyst and inviting us here. I want to introduce you to Frank Lloyd Wright, and you know Frank Lloyd Wright. He's an architect, and these are some of his famous homes, and they are UNESCO sites. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization recognized pieces of architecture. He builds things. He built things, and he's got some homes right here in Cincinnati. Why do I bring up him? Because we've got some architects here. All of our students here are architects. These are the students who built our program at Aiken High School. And does it look familiar? Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is Ali Sar. And Ali Sar, have you ever seen this downtown? Mm-hmm. She's the one that painted it.
Oh, not just me.
Well, exactly. But you see how things start, though, right? Things just don't get done. It's a process. And so they go from the scaffolding and the design aspect to, something like that. And then something amazing happens. Something amazing happens. If you've ever been down to the Blink Festival, this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe. They illuminated it. And that's what these students are. They are students that come in as, things that maybe need a little help. And we move forward, and all of a sudden they become these luminous beings. And that's who we have today. And so this is a quote. I had somebody read last week's quote. Anybody want to read this week's quote? Sir.
Okay, we have no longer an outside and inside as two separate things. Now the outside may come inside, and the inside may and does go outside. They are of each other, from and function. This because one in design and execution, if the nature of materials and method and its purpose are all in unison.
Let's give a little appreciation. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Now, Frank Lloyd Wright was an architect. He was also a very wordy writer. But the idea here is that we can no longer separate the inside and the outside. We have to look at things together as a system. And this idea of form and function, I think, are critical in terms of who we're going to be meeting today. And who we're meeting today is Jolie. Can you raise your hand up in the air? That's Jolie. All right, she's with her friend Karuna there. And what you might not be able to see too well in that picture, but anybody know where she is?
DC.
She's in DC, yeah. And so I had to grab some pictures from some archives here. And so we don't have Karuna with us, but this is Muhammad. And Muhammad, you're back from last week. Can you introduce yourself? There you go, Muhammad. Yes. I know. When you come back, you had a good time, right? Yeah. I'm just saying. That is how we felt welcome, because I'm back too. So I didn't choose a different picture for Muhammad. All right. And so this is Muhammad. Also, if you raise your hand, Muhammad. All right. Thank you. Welcome. And that's Celestine. And so, I'm sorry I had to choose that picture. All right, okay? But that picture is actually very important. If you see what he's doing there, that'll come back and we'll see something about that. And we have Ali Sar. All right? Can you please introduce yourself, Ali Sar? All right. So I want to thank every one of these students for being here today and taking the time. I just want to really clear up some things here. This is how we are or can be defined. These words over here are what we see a lot of in terms of our students that we have here, what we do at Aiken High School, ESL, English as a Second Language. How many languages do some of you speak?
Three.
Three?
Maybe three.
Five.
Three, two,
Three.
three. So it's really a lie. I mean, we're English as a third, sometimes fourth language. You know what I mean? So English language learners. Everyone here is an English language learner, by the way. All right, did I know how to spell Kiribati? No. All right, I'm just saying. All right, limited English proficient. First of all, that's just degrading. You know. And so we all are limited English proficient. Culturally diverse learners. We are all trying to learn culturally. And then this is a new one, probably. SLIGHT. Students with limited or interrupted formal education. Sorry, I left an F out of there. That is actually the students that we work with specifically at Aiken, we specialize in. And I'm curious if any of you would like to share, at what age did you come to us at Aiken?
So,
Yeah.
they were 17.
17.
I was 17 as well.
You were 17 as well?
17.
17.
I believe I was 19.
19.
Yeah.
17. All right. Now, at what age, if you don't mind, did you graduate?
We use the microphone
Oh, sorry.
so people can't hear.
We got a
you.
microphone, sorry.
Yeah,
At what age did you graduate? Yes, Mohammed? 19?
yeah, use the microphone because people.
19.
Thank you.
19.
21.
21.
19.
19.
And then 20.
20. So this is what I want us to understand here. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. Is that, you know, these are students that maybe had a little interruption in their schooling, and so, but we didn't just say, you can't come to school. We can service students up to the age of 22. All right? And so these students come in, and we create a home for them. Now, many of the students are immigrants, people who move from one country to another, or refugees, students without a country. These are all labels we put on students, but really what they are, we use the thing of SWOOP here at Aiken, and this is my interpretation of SWOOP. It's students of the world who have outstanding observation-based perspectives. You know, and so that's what we do at Aiken, and so this is what we have here, and that is... 2, 3. All right, go get it, girls. All right, and so that's our cross-country team. All right, so these are just outstanding students that they're not limited. In fact, they're worldly. They've got experiences we'll never experience. Now, I want to show you this because maybe you're familiar with the UN, United Nations, and these are called the Blue Helmets. And basically, they're peacekeeping missions around the world. And you'll see this map here. And on this map, and from the students that we have in front of us, every one of these students comes from a place that is either blue or light blue. Basically, these are areas that have a little bit of trouble in the world. Now, that doesn't mean that they personally experienced that trouble, but many times they did. And there is a link on here, but you can see, and there's none of these except for Haiti over here in the Western Hemisphere. Okay? And so there's a lot of there's a lot of trouble. All right? And so what we've done is we've given refuge. Now, a few people we want to introduce here. Mohammed, all right? And so I've got some things here, and he shared this picture. Now, I didn't know anything about this picture, but does anybody have any thoughts about what this picture... That's Mohammed, by the way. All right, but... doing the ropes course.
Yes.
Any other ideas? You shared, you were...
Sure. So, this is back in Afghanistan at the age of 9. I was actually in Boy Scout with Americans, their army, because my dad used to take me there pretty much every day, and we would do some exercises. This rope was 24 feet high, and it was pretty long, so actually I was brave enough to walk. So, yeah.
Well, what was so cool is he showed you these pictures. Like this, when I was in Boy Scouts, I was like, my son was a Boy Scout. You know, I was like, we have connections here. You know, and I just thought it was so cool. You know, and so that's one of my favorite pictures. What is this called?
Buckle.
So I brought my hat here. All right. So but he gave this to me from Afghanistan. It's just one of my favorite pictures I've ever had. He also brought us the word chantukre, and this is I've got to skip ahead, I think, to 2 minutes here, and we were down at Music Hall, and maybe this will play, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Maybe not. There you go.
No, it's not. It's stopped right now.
Bottom left.
Yeah, let me try it down here. Nope. Oh, there you go.
This award honors the tenacity found in the spirit of an athlete. Winston Churchill once said, "It's not the strength of the body that counts, but the strength of the spirit." With that, I want to tell you about our 2019 Courage Award recipients. The first time this high school ever fielded a boys and girls cross country team, the runners on the roster traveled thousands of miles to compete. Comprised of 19 runners, the team members speak 10 different languages and come from 4 different
Flash over here, because I got to find a time.
Several
here.
runners came to Aiken from refugee camps, and many are competing in an organized sport for the very first time. The Aiken cross-country teams mean school history, but more important.
So, so what we did, we were invited up here to present. There's Celestine, you know, and this an amazing Music Hall. It was just absolutely amazing. And you see the word chantukre there. So Muhammad brought us this word chantukre, and can you tell us a little bit about chantukre?
Chantukre, it's the word of Pashto language, and it means to be involved.
Yeah, and so what it did, it kind of embodied kind of what we do. And so when I reached out to our graduates here, all these students are graduates, I said, hey, you mind coming back, and you know Mr. Schneer, and we're going to just kind of share a little bit of what we do. He's like, you mean be chantukre? I'm like, yeah, we're going to be chantukre. So just a really, really great thing, and it's really been his legacy here at Aiken. Even though he moved on, he graduated from Princeton High School.
That's right.
All right, and we're happy for that. We're not bitter. We give, right? But since then, he's a student at Xavier University, and we'll be learning more from Muhammad here very soon. Ali Sar, sorry, I'm not navigating super. No. Uh-oh. I made trouble.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, I'm going to go here. All right, sorry, Ali Sar. Hopefully this will... There you go. Now, Ali Sar, can you share with me, why am I sharing that picture?
Because Mr.
Well, you
Parker...
need to do the microphone. There you go. Sorry.
So Mr. Parker is sharing this because he knows it's one of my favorite pictures. I was 3 months and 13 days old, and so this was back in Syria, particularly Aleppo. And as we discussed, it was a time of happiness and peace where I didn't just have to think about all these complexities around the world. So it's just so precious to me.
Yeah, it really is, you know. And I'm not sure if that clicks somewhere. Sometimes I put a lot. You know, Ali Sar has used her voice, and you speak so eloquently.
She's a high school student in CPS.
Speaking about social justice.
Hi, good evening. My name is Alisar Darwish. I'm a student immigrant who came to the United States about a year and a half ago. I'm a 20 years old student at Aiken High School. This moment is really important to me, not just to me, but to a lot of other students. I want to use it to talk about...
Pause there. You look over here. She's speaking at a social justice event about school funding. You see up there it says black and brown, low-income students, shortchanged. This is what our students don't get when they're here in the United States. We have students from around the world that didn't get an opportunity to go to school because of war, because of poverty, because of genocide, because of these terrible, terrible things. So she's not just using her voice to stand up for, you know, people here. she's a representative of that's what's happening around the world. But this is a picture she wanted me to share. This is a picture she didn't want me to share. And so,
Mr. Parker, I didn't expect that.
all right, but this is amazing though. What I want you to notice is you are how old? 3 months?
Yeah, and
Do you see her little tongue out there?
13 days.
All right, this is when you're like 21 years old, maybe. You see that? You know, we grow up, we don't change that much. I'm just saying, this was her one and only day running with us across country. After that, she said, I don't know about this. You know? But she also, her legacy is vast. And here's Muhammad. So she shared with, that pains me, I went to Ohio State, so putting our fight song to Hail to the Victors was a really big stretch for me, all right? But it's a catchy song, and putting that big M on my door, when, my dad went to Ohio State, I went to Ohio State, my wife went to Ohio State, my son's up at Ohio State, woo, we grow. Now, but that little thing at the end, that's a Zaragoza, right? Did I say that right?
I'm sorry?
Zaragoza?
Yeah, Zavul.
Zagruta, all right, Zagruta. And so she brought us to Zagruta. All right, so again, let's just take a look at the picture. All right, let's move on. All right, so Muhammad is back, and we met Muhammad last week. Muhammad likes these forums so much. Muhammad, can you tell us a little bit about that picture?
Yeah, sure. This was like last Thursday at UC. We were holding up our Ukrainian crisis and refugee forum at UC, sharing our concerns and perspective of what is going on there right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So Muhammad is a student at UC, and he's we work with a group called Refuge UC, student-run organization, wonderful, and they come in and they mentor our students, but also Muhammad was a mentee, and now he's a mentor, and he's participating in these forums, sharing his worldly perspective. And you just did that last week, right?
Right.
So, I mean, he loves these forums. So if you got a forum, Muhammad will be there. I'm just saying. I mean, you give the guy a mic, you know, and a PowerPoint, he's there.
Yeah.
Also, we mentioned, this is the very first time we ever met Muhammad, and he mentioned this last week, and yeah? What do you think? Missouri? Mbaya? Missouri or Mbaya? Missouri. All right.
That's good.
Yeah? Thank you, sir. Yeah? All right. And what are we eating there?
We were eating kimchi, and that was my first time ever eating kimchi, and my first experiencing making kimchi.
Yeah, my first time too. So
Yeah.
again, it's process and product, right? We had to make it, and then we had to eat it. And but we try new things. And not a new thing here is Celestine. Celestine, you ready here? All right. And so that's the picture, Celestine. Man, isn't that a great looking picture? Man, that's a great looking picture. That's the picture he wanted me to show. That's the picture I wanted to show. Now remember that beet he was eating earlier? Yeah. So that's the same beet that ended up right there in the salad, all right? And what's so cool here is, you know, we do change. Sometimes we're little, we have a tongue sticking out of our mouth, and we grow up, we still have the tongue sticking out of our mouth, all right? Sometimes we come in here, and Celestine was like, no, I don't really make food. And I was like, what? I was like, you got to learn how to make your food, right? You can't have just your sister do it for you, right? And so he sent me evidence of him actually taking the food that we are growing from our garden and making it into his plate. I'm just saying, it's like that's the changes sometimes that we see within our students. But this is the picture I thought we could agree upon, you know. And so that's Celestine and I just love that picture. We're a music hall. I forget what video I chose for you. Okay, I might need to sneak back here. So they're such humanitarians. So we've worked a lot with the 517s. Thank you. We've worked a lot with the International Red Cross, and many of these students have benefited
Welcome
from
to Econ
some of
International
those things.
Humanitarian Aid News.
That's
The news that will help you with what you know,
sister,
what you need to know, and what your next
Patricia,
steps
and
should
another
be.
student,
I'm
Kadia,
Kadia.
who's at
And I'm Patricia.
UC.
It is
And so I'm going to go here, and we can hear a little bit of from.
Welcome to Econ International Humanitarian Aid News, the news that will help you with what you know, what you need to know, and what your next steps should be. I'm Kadia.
And I'm Patricia. It is important day to learn about humanitarian aid today.
That's right, there are many people in this world who are in need.
I'm sure humanitarian aid can help them.
War, natural disaster, persecution, gang violence, terrorism, no security.
I am sure these people are living in these situations.
To make sure these people are secure, the international humanitarian aid help by putting them in good conditions.
Let's go out to our IHL. Some boys correspondent at the Kite to see what people know.
Hello guys, your own
Maybe I missed my
Kite,
thing.
and I'm here with war and
There he is.
genocide.
Sorry.
Humanitarian aid is helping.
SLC.
We were Maya before humanitarian aid came here to the Democratic Republic of Congo. But since humanitarian aid has come in, we were Zuri.
For our views at home, Baya in Swahili means bad and in Zulu means good. So it sounds like humanitarian aid is helping what is causing the humanitarian crisis in the DR Congo.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo, we have a lot of violence because our government has not been able to solve problems about poverty, war, and genocide.
So when local government can't provide for the citizen, does the International Red Cross help out?
Yes, it is amazing what the International Red Cross does. We have sent people, they fly the Democratic Republic of the Congo and have to move to countries like Burundi and Tanzania. Only have those same people have to move again.
Amazing. So no matter where they are forced to move, humanitarian aid can get to those people. We were just speaking to refugees in Nepal who live in a refugee camp. Is it the same way in Africa?
Sometimes refugees live in camps. We did not live in camps. We still need help from military aid. We were able to get help with food, medicine, and shelter.
Is there anything our viewers should know about how they can help out the people of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Burundi?
I want to say that if you can help, please do. If you have seen some of the dangerous living conditions that we have sensed you or you want to help too.
What's SLC?
Bye.
Bye, is that Swahili or English?
Bye is the same in Swahili and English, so bye.
Bye, Celestine.
Could be mistaken for brother or sister.
That is a good one.
Anyway, they are brothers. So it's a little acting. I don't know. You might have been a freshman or a sophomore there, Celestine. But the point being is, like, clear misconception. You mentioned, some people live in refugee camps, some people don't. But you have to move a lot. And we'll learn more from Celestine here and what he has contributed. Our last individual I'd like to introduce you to is I put Makarana. I'm so sorry. And Jolie, Mireille, and so we have many different variations of that. But this is one of my favorite pictures of Jolie. Do you want to speak about this at all?
Yes. This is a program at Aiken High School. It was the name is Awaken at Aiken. We roasted coffee. We also serve it at school. It was a wonderful program.
Yeah, and what are you digging in there?
It was, there was coffee beans inside.
Yeah, where are they from?
From different countries, from Guatemala, Rwanda, Mexico, and many more countries.
And that one was from Rwanda.
Yeah.
And it's just so special to see that our kids can connect with something, a place where they are from. And so she was one of our first roasters there, and I love this picture. I'm sorry, Muhammad and Muhammad, but we couldn't allow any Muhammads in there. You know, just amazing, amazing people doing amazing, amazing things. I forget what I chose for you. Oh yeah, using our amazing skills. I'm going to pause there. You can't understand what she's saying anyway. What language are you speaking?
I was speaking Kinyarwanda
And what are you speaking about?
about census, the importance of census.
Yeah, so I think almost every one of these students did a video about the census because this was in 2020, obviously, you know, and it was about counting. Like, we count. And to communicate to our populations in the city that, you know, their voice counts. And sometimes some of these populations aren't so, like, hey, you want to interview me? Like, I don't know. And if we don't know the services that we can provide. And so our students, I know Celestine, you did one, and Elisar, you did one, and Jolie, you did one. Again, no Muhammad's invited. No, Muhammad, you did one, right? All right, the other Muhammad, we did. But we did it in our strengths, in our native languages, so that we can communicate within those populations, citywide, region-wide. These things went nationwide. And so that people would know that, you know, it's safe, it's important, and that's how you can take action and do things that matter. Okay, so thank you, Jolie. I'm not sure if I skipped one there. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. So, we're gonna start with Muhammad here. And so, Muhammad, I got some questions here, and yeah, you need the mic. All right, and so, here's what I'll say as a disclaimer. All right, these are about comfortable conversations. Okay, and so, you know, I brought in some older students because they're more comfortable speaking about maybe some things that are a little darker. But I'm going to respect what they have to share. I do have some questions here, or some sentence stems, just to kind of lead us in that direction of what they're comfortable sharing. And I do have some pictures, no videos, don't worry. All right, and we're going to start with, the questions basically go the same way. What we need to know about Molly's strengths. Tell us a little bit about it. What was the power of Molly? What do we need to know about Molly's challenges? What are some things that are difficult? Okay, and what do we need to know about how those strengths and challenges impacted you? It could be maybe what brought you here. It could be maybe what made you change as a person. Okay, are you comfortable?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So one of the strengths of Malian people is that we learn to live with everybody, no matter where, and I think that's one of the strengths of Malian people. And also, we love to stand for our country, and I know things are hard, but no matter what, you don't give up. And I think this is also one of the strengths of Malian people. And maybe one of the challenges is political crisis in Mali, which we have been trying to establish for so many years, but because of some corrupted leaders, things are hard to be back on track. And but actually we have like some transitional government in place who are working toward our goals and needs. And yeah. What was the other question?
How has some of those strengths and challenges impacted you as a person?
As a person, I would say the political crisis impacted my life because when I was in Mali, like I said, I was in school. I was in school and I was studying till my 10th grade. That's when we had political crisis, which interrupted school for 6 months, and I didn't go to school, and I have to move. I have to move here to improve my study, and yeah,
That's great.
thank you.
Would you care to share anything about, these are images that I chose arbitrarily, sorry, so I'm not trying to, but do you know anything about these images or?
Oh yeah, sure. So this one here, this is like one of the mosque in Timbuktu. Is the like one of the oldest mosque in Africa, I can say. They're really smart people, and you know, yeah. And also this one is like
Dogon.
the Dogon people, and I guess I learned that when I got here, like in the histories, we have like famine, which means like they were struggling to get food, and I think the United States kind of provide food and aid to them. And
So that's in the more rural areas, right?
yeah,
But down here, what do we have?
we have this one.
Yeah.
So this is the city Bamako.
Yeah.
That's where I was living, and yeah, and this one is our military, and I guess with the UNICEF.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
much of the blue helmets are out in the more rural areas.
Right.
And so not necessarily in the
In the
city
city.
center,
Right.
right? And so, but the corruption we would have kind of here. In
True.
the city,
True.
all right? And this is where we would have maybe more of the elements of terrorism,
Right.
okay?
Absolutely.
All right? So, any questions about Mali that we could entertain? You can definitely come back. Just understand that, like, it's diverse. Mali's home to the oldest university in the world. In the world. And you'll have to help me with the name of the mosque. I'm so sorry.
This one
Yeah.
is called
Starts with a D.
Jenny.
Jenny, yeah. And it's just, it's again one of these. Think Frank Lloyd Wright. It's one of those UNESCO. It's just like his houses. It's a protected cultural resource, and so absolutely incredible. Thank you, Muhammad. Elisar, your turn to grab the mic. All right. Now, no tongue pictures. All right. But same model here, and so you are from Aleppo. All right. And so just a little geography, and these are the pictures that I think Elisar, you sent me all of these pictures. Right. And so I'm just going to show those, and she can speak of them.
So I am Alisar Darwish. I am from Syria. The Syria, I think most of some of the strengths would be that we were living together in peace, Jewish, Christians, and Muslims. That was before the war. And even like in the same neighborhood, I remember my father's friend were mostly Christians. So that was something that I really missed to see. But unfortunately, since the war started, we were in different places. And another strength, I believe, is that we had refugees from different countries, Lebanon, Iraq, and it was all good, but unfortunately, that changed after the war.
I'm so sorry.
So the challenges is absolutely the war. There is some, to be honest, social corruption on the political and the religious level, and like even the government level. So it was really disastrous there. So this has impacted me in many ways because I had to leave everything behind. I had to leave my country and my school and my friends, and just to begin from zero again. So it's really challenging being in a different country and speak a different language. Though probably the culture is more comfortable for me here. There's a wider space of freedom and ability to express your opinion, which is something I really appreciate.
So can you speak a little bit about this picture here?
Oh, sure. So that was my home this is in Aleppo, and this is the same building but from like different corner. And so that was the necklace. This is my favorite necklace that I bought when it was the New Year, and I bought it from. Do you have the picture of the church?
Sorry, I don't.
Oh, so it's okay. Yeah, it was very close to the church. It was next to the shop I bought this from was next to a church, and this in our home balcony.
And you said a story about this. You had to kind of rescue this.
Yeah, like I was 13 years old, and it was the New Year, as I told you, and it was we were celebrating with our Christian neighbors, and yeah, it was just one of my favorite thing that I ever had.
Thank you. All right, Jolie.
So one of the Rwandan strength is unity and love as for now, because Rwanda has had a dark history in the past, but as for now, people live together happily and no discrimination anymore, and I think that's the biggest strength of Rwanda. One of the challenges as best as when I was growing up was discrimination. It was a tough time and a very difficult situation where people were being discriminated against their physical features, and it's really sad that people who lived in the same country, people that spoke the same language, and people that shared a lot of things that they could go and fight against themselves. It was a very difficult situation that people who had a lot in common started fighting between themselves and end up killing a lot of people. So I was impacted with these challenges because not only me, but there's a lot of people who were impacted. A lot of people were left without parents. A lot of kids were left on the street without a family, without food, without shelter. And they had no hopes for their future, and they had to grow up by themselves without anyone to help them or support them. And yeah.
Thank you. And this picture, did we use that in something before?
Yeah,
I think so, right?
Yeah.
So that was the area of Rwanda you're from, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When she's talking about discrimination, we're talking about the genocide that occurred in Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis, and there was a third group, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they kind of connected with the Hutus, correct? Is that right?
What?
Did the Twa, they kind of like were with?
No, Detwa was basically kind of not involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about this picture down here?
That looks like, I don't know, like a camp.
It's the Dab.
It's a Dadaab camp, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Dab?
So, back in 2014, I was 13 years old, and my family just relocated from Kenya, Nairobi. Because of a lot of things were going on at Nairobi, we were exposed and taken to the Dab camp near Somali, where we lived in transit for 3 months. It was very sunny, a lot of scorpions, and my brother was bitten by a scorpion there. And yeah, it was difficult to get food, but luckily we got there after 3 months.
At the time, Dadaab was the largest refugee camp in the world, over, I think, 250,000 people.
There was a lot of people there.
Yeah. They are closing it officially in June of this year. Or, wait, no. Yes, supposedly of this year. So we will see. But it's on the border of Kenya and Somalia. And it's been there for 30 years. It's been there for 30 years. And so, yeah, I think it looks a little sunny and probably some scorpions. All right. Thank you, Jolie. Celestine, pass that mic on down. You know the questions. Here are the pictures. I'm going to start off with that one, and that one, and that one, but you can speak whatever you'd like.
So I was choosing the RC Republic of the Congo. It was share just a little thing you have with your family, and then there is volcano and child soldier. Those kind of things separate us together with our family friend. Yeah.
So what are the strengths of the Congo?
Share the Congo was like every little small thing we have to share together. And then one thing I always tell people is like peace is more powerful than war, because you can have small things but share with others. And then when the war starts, some people they fight for their power, but he left other with nothing in their hands.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
So we 12 in our house. So I have 6 brothers, and then 6, and then 4 sisters.
And an incredible family. Mom, dad, and the whole family were able to go from the Congo to Burundi, United States, stay together. Stay together. I mean, I took 3 kids to DC a few weeks ago, and it was hard to keep them all together. All right, you know, amazing people doing amazing things in amazingly difficult circumstances. But what you say there, having to share, going home and having to share amongst, 11 siblings.
Right.
How has that changed you? How has that impacted you? Sorry.
So, cause we had to lose all the small things that we have that time, and I remember we moved to Burundi. We all live in one room. It was like about 7 people, and I remember like when it's getting the time for someone to change clothes after taking a shower, somebody else say like everybody gotta go out so I can change my clothes. It was hard.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Celestine. All right, our last one here is Muhammad, and again, Muhammad. I think I might have chosen some. You shared one picture with me, but there's Afghanistan. I chose some pictures here that kind of tell a story of you. All right.
Sure. Okay, so Afghanistan, you're probably aware of the situation right now, what's going on and what's happening. So there's a lot I want to share, but I will just mention a couple things. So my dad used to be an interpreter with US Army. That's how I joined Boy Scout, and I was working out there. So.
And that is not your dad.
That is not my dad.
Not
that is not my
That
dad.
is a Google image. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can also find my dad in Google. Probably me as well. That picture was also from Google, the one that I shared. But yeah, my dad was an interpreter with them. And then the city I was living, it was Jalalabad, a border of, it was close to Pakistan. So I felt like I was living in a prison. I wasn't allowed to go outside of the city. Because my dad used to work with Americans, and we were targeted by them. And because of that, I left my country and came with my family to United States. And I met some amazing people here, Mr. Parker, and some other friends. I met a new family pretty much. So yeah, from there on, and I joined cross country, and that's how my life is continuing. I work 2 jobs, full-time college. I know it's a little hard. One of my job, I didn't want to lose it, and it was offered helping immigrants. So yeah, I help immigrants through different organizations actually, Catholic Charity and some other organization. We help them become self-sufficient, and we help them in many different ways through different organizations. So the challenges of Afghanistan, it's the situation that is happening right now. It's the terrorists, Taliban. The only one thing is the women, they're not, the only thing they're allowed to do is going to school. Nothing else. They can't do any sport. I have also heard from Mr. Shanair that he saw some newspaper about girls that they're trying to leave Afghanistan. So yeah, it's tough for women to live there. They have to force pretty much everything. Those Taliban, they're forcing people and trying to do whatever they want. So yeah, women can't do anything. This is a big challenge, and people are not allowed. They're not free. So actually, I'm really happy being here. Now I'm the one who helping others and new refugees, not just from Afghanistan, but from different countries too. So yeah. And the strengths and challenges that impacted me, it's war. I left my country, my friend. I had a job there, going to school, and I had a pharmacy actually. And yeah, some of the other challenges that yeah, it's pretty much that's it. I think it's war and the terrorists that are, we don't have any freedom. That's a big challenge. So yeah.
Thank you, Mohammed. And with his dad being an interpreter, his family was one of the families that was impacted by. They wanted to stop all refugees from coming in, and all of a sudden, the military freaked out. They're like, "Wait a minute! Whoa, 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 whoa! We've been working with these people. These people have been helping us. It's like you can't. We made a deal. We made a deal. You help us, we're going to help you." And that's when all of a sudden, the politicians said "Oh, we got to listen," And it's because of that listening, because of that conversation, that his family was able to come. Because otherwise, they were going to be like, "No," because Afghani people are bad, right? I mean, that was the idea. And so, we're so glad you're here. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I want to share one thing. It's about the people of Afghanistan and the history of Afghanistan. As you guys know, in the past, USSR or Soviet Union wanted to invade Afghanistan or any other different country. For example, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. During that invasion, we received many different refugees from different countries, from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. And so we are all united. That is the biggest strength of Afghan people. We have Uzbek people in our country, we have Tajik people, we have Pashtun, and we also had Hindu people in our country. So we're all united and we live together. In that one.
Thank you. Perfect. Wonderful. And that's where they're from, and now this is where they are. And they got here through their strengths. We've got students at Cincinnati State that are going to be moving on to University of Cincinnati, presumably, and students from Xavier. And I didn't know if any of you would like to speak about your experience in college. I mean, we had Mohammed a little bit last week, but specifically going from where you were to a high school to now, you're in college. What has it been like? What are those strengths that you're using there? What are those challenges that you're finding there? Anybody care to speak about their experience at any of these schools? And what got you there?
So, like I said, after all the challenges that my country went through, my parents was not able to attend college or universities because it was very difficult even to fit, so it was impossible to attend school. So when we came to United States, I got the opportunity to go to school to go to high school without having to worry about the school fees and the books and everything. So I'm glad to share that in my family, I'm the first generation to attend college. It's very challenging and difficult as a second, as a student whose English is not a first language. It's very difficult, but I tend to continue with my education so that I can make a change in my family and make them proud and be a useful person in the future and to our community.
Outstanding. All right, who's going to follow up on that one? Alex Arwell.
So as I told you that I had to flee to Turkey, no, I think I didn't mention that, but I had to flee to Turkey as a refugee when I was in Syria. So between Syria and Turkey, my education was interrupted for 6 consecutive years. So when I came here, it was really, really difficult to start from the beginning. I just felt lost, and I was just telling myself I can't even understand the basics of what other people were saying. But I think the thing that helped me keep motivated was the love I received from many teachers. Absolutely, Mr. Parker is one of them. I felt appreciated and supported, and I think that was the fuel that kept pushing me to move on. And so I graduated high school. I had to graduate in 2 years because of my age. Yeah, I'm getting old. So now I am pursuing my Associate of Science degree at Cincinnati State because I am planning to transfer to a 4-year college to continue in biochemistry. And yeah, I share a lot of, we have a lot of common with, I have a lot of common with what Jolie mentioned. It's really challenging when it comes to the language of book and college. The language is really different from what we are talking right now, so it takes extra time and effort. But I think I just feel like I have to be honest towards the thing that I am learning, so I can apply it in a sincere way when I'm in a good career to help other people.
Thank you.
Okay, back to me. Back in Afghanistan, like as I said, I was in high school when I moved to Cincinnati. I started going to Aiken High School, and then I graduated from Princeton High School. And then I applied to Xavier University, got accepted, and good thing he was a professor there. And I think you were still a professor there. So he wrote me a recommendation letter, which really helped. And like other classmates said, I'm also a first-generation student, and the biggest challenge that I'm facing with that I used to, it was English, and it was very hard for me to understand and focus on things. So yeah, there was no one to help me pretty much with college, since I was a first-generation student. I was kind of lost in my first semester what to do, since with my other job, and I didn't know what to do actually. I was lost everywhere with my classes. I didn't know how to handle it, and there was no one to give me advice what to do and what not to do. But things got a lot better, and it's better now, and I'm focusing on my school, my jobs, and helping others. That's the main goal. One thing that always helped me is props. I don't know if you guys heard of that. It's a term from Aiken High School. They stand for professional, respectful, outstanding, punctual, and self-sufficient. So that always helped me, and it's a key to success actually. Yep.
Thank you. My principal would love to know that you still know that. All right, teaching our expectations. Thank you. Mohammed.
Yeah, I was also in high school when I was back in Mali, and I moved here in 2019. I went to Aiken High School for 2 years, where I had to learn English, and I got here like almost with no English experience, and it was like one of the challenge that I had to overcome. But with the help of the teachers and nice friends, and the administrations, they welcome you, they make you feel appreciated, they encourage you, and accompanied with my in my head, like, I think there's a reason you are going to school, so never forget like the reason you are going. So that kind of motivate you to push like to reach your goals. So with that in mind, I keep going to school and do what I'm supposed to do. Until right now, my English is a little bit better, but I have to some little work to do. But yeah, and I did some school activities, and which is really cool because when you first got here in the United States, you don't have no family. It's only you, your family, maybe your dad, your mom. But beside that, to make a new family, you have to get involved. You have to do things with different people to kind of get to know them and see like the world, like the way they live here and learn all those stuff. So one way I was doing that was by getting involved in cross country, egg gardening, wordplay, so many things like that, and it kind of helped me because when it comes to writing my resume and essays, when applying for colleges, really helped me a lot and kind of gave me the opportunity to get scholarships and stuff like that. And now I'm going to UC. My first semester I was struggling, but I can say that I was doing good because I have made so many great networkings when I was in high school with some of the people that provide opportunities to high school students to get involved, like UC mentors. So I met some of them, and whenever I have questions or concerns about something, I ask them or email them. And also I made new friends, you know. But yeah, like they said, English being my second language or even third, I don't know, it's not easy. So you always have to stay focused, and cause like people who were born here and grew here, they don't have to spend that much of time on reading something and understand it. So I have to double that what they are doing in order to get what they are even talking about, you know. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but they're gonna pay off. Yeah, for sure.
I'll just say the average English speaker speaks knows about 20,000 words. I mean, that's like me. I mean, and I might be on the low end there. All right, and so they know 2 or 3 languages, so they've got an access of like 60,000, 80,000 words, that you have to sort through. It's like my desk at school. It's a mess. It's just complicated. Everything's there, but you got to find it. Celestine.
Yeah, same for me too. It was kind of challenge and embarrassed at the same time because my school was kind of like all this guy there. I was like, and they feel embarrassed at the same time. But one day I went home. I was like, it's good to have plan, like what you want to accomplish in your future. And then I go back to school, and then get the time when my teacher was like, "Yeah, you're gonna graduate this year." I was like, more excited. Oh, I'm getting graduate, And then I didn't graduate. I was like, why you didn't tell me like I was supposed to graduate and I didn't graduate? And he was like, and to be honest, when I get in college, I was like, that time I was not ready, I want to graduate, but I was not ready. Yeah, but now I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, As like Jody mentioned, I'm the first child of my family to attend college. Yeah. I can't wait to be an example for my other siblings,
Oh man, I gotta have you speak to my current seniors. I'm telling them like you're going to graduate. Are you ready to graduate? And Choosing inspirational quotes, I know, is very hard, and these journey quotes, you ever look at them, and so, something like it's not the journey, it's the destination, or it's the journey, it's not the destination, I don't know. So this is the one that I think is most appropriate for the collection of students that we have here today. And it said, don't expect everyone to understand your journey. We're not going to walk out of here knowing every little bit of their story, all right? Especially if they've never walked your path. And each of these students have walked a different path, all right? And, I learned a few things today. And I've known some of you for quite a while, But the more we share, the more we can be compassionate and show empathy. And, I just appreciate so much you all sharing what you are comfortable sharing. And can we just give them a little appreciation? I always tell them, we can't say we understand, but we can say that we're listening. I will send this to Mr. Schneer, though, too. We have students that constantly give back. They're giving back, and I know we're about time for service here, but this is Muhammad, and you see Joyce down there as Enoch and another UC student. They're on the radio at Democracy and Me. You can look this up. A great conversation about, this was back in November, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, and so Muhammad shared, this is when, the U.S. was leaving, I guess. And but we're constantly giving back and sharing our perspectives. And so it's worth a listen. It's like 26 minutes, and it's just fabulous. Thank you for inviting us. We will be back next week with a new group of people. We'll have new topics, but we'd love to answer your questions. If you do have specific questions, then we can kind of tie it in. Next week will be kind of like our culminating event. All right? So thank you so much.